Fleet Marshal Sar Vek stood on the bridge of the Empire's Reach and watched the last transmission from the deterrent weapons escort go silent, and understood, with the particular clarity of a man whose entire professional framework had just been dismantled in the space of a single engagement, that the campaign was over. "Casualties?" he asked, though he already suspected the answer, because it had been the answer at every engagement since Kestrel's landing. "Minimal, sir," his tactical officer reported, disbelief still audible under the professionalism. The Concord fleet specifically targeted the escort screen's weapons and engines. Most of our crews are alive, disabled but alive, same as at the buffer zone. The weapon platform surrendered rather than risk detonation in an active engagement. Captain's discretion, apparently, given the restraint they showed disabling the escort first. Vek absorbed that in silence for a long moment. 1,100 years of Dominion military doctrine had prepared him for many outcomes to a campaign gone wrong. For defeat, for retreat, even for annihilation. All of which had precedent in the Dominion's long history of encountering the occasional species that fought back harder than expected. Nothing in that doctrine had prepared him for an enemy that could dismantle an entire war effort in a handful of engagements and choose, deliberately, every single time, not to kill the people doing the fighting. "Signal Overlord Kaldreth," he said finally. "Tell him the 3rd Expansion Fleet formally requests authorization to stand down, and tell him..." He paused, searching for words that would carry the full weight of what he had just watched without sounding, to a chain of command that had never once needed to hear it, like an accusation. "Tell him I no longer believe there is a version of this campaign we could have won, and I would like the Council to understand that before anyone considers trying it a second time." 3 days later, what remained of the 3rd Expansion Fleet withdrew from the buffer zone in full, its disabled ships repaired by conquered engineering teams and returned under escort, its crews unharmed and, in a detail that would circulate through Dominion military channels for years afterward, provided with detailed medical records of every injury sustained and treated during their captivity. A level of transparency that struck every Dominion officer who read it as either an extraordinary courtesy or an extraordinarily pointed message, and most of them, eventually, concluded it was both. Aboard the Empire's Reach, in the quiet after the withdrawal order had gone out, Vek found Yenrik Thal in the officers' mess, still visibly working through everything he had seen aboard the Resolute. "You were right from the beginning," Vek said, sitting across from him without ceremony. "I should have listened the first time you flagged it." "I don't think it would have changed anything, sir," Thal said. "I don't think anyone in the Dominion's command structure was capable of believing a species could hide like that until we'd already walked into it. I know I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen the readings myself." He was quiet for a moment. "Diplomat Reyes asked me something while I was aboard the Resolute. She asked what it would take for the Dominion to consider a different outcome than the one our protocols assume. I didn't have an answer for her then. I think I do now." "What's the answer?" "That we'd have to actually sit down and let them tell us who they are, instead of deciding for them from a single survey pass," Thal said. "I think that's the only thing that's ever going to work with a species like this, sir. I think it might be the only thing that should have been working with anyone the whole time." Thank you for listening to the opening chapter of The Quiet Empire. Please leave comments. They are always appreciated. Also, please like and follow on TikTok, or like and subscribe on YouTube. They will help to keep these stories coming and on a quicker pace. Thank you.